Okay, and this is our lovely audience today agreeing to listen to my speech. And my name is Leslie Licari, and I am here today to talk to you about a film that I saw in my sociology course. It's called The Corporation. So what really drew me into this film was a snippet about a worker. Her name was Wendy Diaz, and she went to speak on national television about how she was treated as a foreign worker, and her rights were being violated, and there was a lot of horrible conditions she was working in. So she spoke and addressed Kathy Lee Gifford in Walmart, and then Kathy Lee Gifford came back on and apologized, but a few years later, her bags were still being sold at Walmart and the workers were still making 3 cents an hour. So that received a lot of press, but people need to know that sweatshops do still exist and that corporations still do harm the environment and take advantage of foreign workers as well as national workers. So we are all connected in this world, and it's very important for humanity and children and the environment. We just want to have a better world, so it's important that people know these things about corporations and their practices. And that's why I'm here today. And I really care about children and all those things I just spoke about. So my sources that I've used for this speech are International Labor Forum, the film The Corporation. There's another article by Hannah Lamarck, and there's another publication on workers called Green America is the name of the corporation. The name of the magazine. So I am going to be making 3 points today. The first point is how corporations treat the environment. The second point is how corporations exploit workers and use child labor. And the third is what we can do in our community to stop these injustices from occurring. So my first point is about the environment. The second point is exploitation, and then the third is about us as consumers. So let's begin with the environment. So the International Labor Rights Forum made an article that says Dow Chemical produced 500,000 gallons of Agent Orange, and Agent Orange is a chemical that Monsanto created, and Monsanto created other things like Roundup and some other things you may be familiar with. So in Vietnam, when this chemical was sprayed over the plants, 50,000 birth defects were reported. And Chevron is another company that people might be familiar with. And the oil refinery in Richmond, California was not responsible, and they caused a lot of toxic waste. So that created cancer, lupus, and tumors among skin rashes and other instances. And then Texaco, which was eventually bought by Chevron, had a really bad spill because they were not responsible with their oil pits. And in Ecuador, 18 billion gallons went into the rivers, and people used this for bathing water. So there was cancer and spontaneous abortions and other birth defects that led from that. So now that we know about some environmental problems that happened, I'd like to move on to exploitation of foreign workers and also what occurs here in the US. So Walmart has been known to lock bathroom doors and give people starving wages in other parts of the world. And then Green America, the magazine I spoke about, noted that McDonald's had to pay $213,000 in stolen wages after they were brought to court. And Hannah Lamarck, the article that I also read about, she said that Philip Morris, who is a cigarette company, pays kids very low wages and employs children, and it's 72 kids at a time on his farm, and they're usually under 10 years old. And then Nestle, the chocolate maker, uses children and other adults, but it's off the Ivory Coast of Africa, and so 600,000 children have to suffer poor working conditions there. So now that's just a drop in the hat, but now that we've talked about exploitation, we need to talk about how we can make a difference in our community. So I don't know if you've ever seen those stickers that say, think globally, act locally. So that's very important because you can bank locally, you can go to farmers markets, you can bring a lot of your business to your local economy, which stops places like Walmart and foreign economies from going through these same cycles. And you can also get inspired by watching films like The Corporation, Michael Moore's films, stuff like that. So one instance that was in this film, The Corporation, they showed a company, or excuse me, the whole entire city of Cochabamba, Bolivia, stood up against corporations that were trying to privatize their water, and the people of the town decided to make their own decisions about healthy water and drinking water and how to produce it for their people. So it was really inspiring portion of that film. So now that you know some ways that you can help, and you can also look for fair trade items and just pay attention to the stores that you shop in, stuff like that. So now that you know all that, I can reiterate my main points. So the first one was the environment and what corporations do. The second was the exploitation of workers and child labor. And the third one was about how you can help in your own community. So as consumers, we purchase items every day. We go to the store all the time, and we need to pay attention to where these items come from, who's producing them, and how they're being produced. And realize that we're all connected in this world and we need to help each other as a globe. So Michael Moore has one thing that he says at the end of the movie, The Corporation, and it's get off the couch and do something and get this world back in our hands. And I really like that, what he said, and I like those stickers that say, think globally, act locally. And you can watch films like this, you can vote, educate yourself, and just like I said, take matters into your own hands. And now we're going to go over this PowerPoint presentation. It's just really quick, it's just 6 slides. Can you see that okay?
Move it forward a little bit,
Or the screen.
Oh yeah, there we go.
You got it? Okay.
Yeah.
So this just says U.S. corporations and how they have treated the environment and workers unfairly, and my name. And then this is a picture of Kathy Lee Gifford and the young lady who spoke. Her name is Wendy Diaz, and how Kathy Lee apologized and then, still kept on with those horrible wages. And then we have Chevron, who was fined $6.5 million for their environmental practices. And just what I spoke about, in Richmond, California, what happened. And then the rainforest Chernobyl was the incident that happened in Ecuador. And then we have just some pictures of the Agent Orange being spread over Vietnam and just how Monsanto still is in business, and how we probably shouldn't trust him. And then cigarette producer Philip Morris, like I said, uses children on his tobacco farms, and Nestle with the 600,000 children suffering in Africa. And then just a few things we can do. Curtail human rights abuses, encourage environmental practices, pay attention to stores and products, get educated, and get inspired. And that's it. And I'll go over you guys one more time. Thank you so much for your attention today. Thank you.